Hi folks, welcome back to the Hoard. I'm going to do a quick troubleshooting video. You guys met this engine a video or so ago. It's the 3 horsepower engine from my son's, the winery cider mill my son works at. This engine really worked for a living. It ran a sprayer that they used to put down weed killer at the beginning of the season around the apple orchard. So you got to figure this thing would be run for many hours at a time. And if you look at the date code here, now dropping the engine over, see that 89? So this engine is like 27 years old, and you figure if every year it ran for many hours, this engine's got some heavy mileage on it. The issue with it is it's fairly low compression, right? I mean, I'm not having any trouble pulling it. And one other thing that I noticed with the low compression, let me just put a little starting fluid into it, and I'm doing that for a specific reason. Now as you watch me pull this, I don't know if you guys can see it, it's kind of misting out the carburetor. Let me set it up against someplace. Dark so that you could see it maybe a little better. I think you guys could see that it's actually belching out the carburetor, and if you put your hand over it, you can feel wind coming out of the carburetor. So it has no compression, most likely due to the intake valve being stuck. The gasoline still smells good. I'm going to check the spark and go through it a little bit more, but probably what I'll do is I'll do this as a two-part. I'll pull the head off. Doesn't look like anybody's had this off before. I don't feel any stress around the bolts, right? So yeah, just a little troubleshooting. I could also hit it with this cylinder leak back tester, but I think I already think I know that the intake valve is hung up, so I'm just going to break into it. I'm not going to bother setting that all up. This is a nice little engine for like lower power mini bikes. What is that, the 5/8 shaft? That noise in the background, piano kids are down in the driveway fighting with each other. So yeah, we're going to give it a go. My son and I replaced it with this little thing, and it's doing fine, right? They got the initial spray of the season. It's worked fine. It started. The comments they've made is it uses less gasoline than that one, though that one I can't picture using all that much gas. But I doubt after 27 years this thing is still going to be running. If anything, I'm a little curious to see how long it lasts. They're not very good about preparing the engines to like sit for the winter, so they might leave gas in it. In my experience, particularly with these China engines, if you leave gas in them, the carburetors grow fur and corrosion and end up with deposits all over, and then you have a carb problem. And for these smaller guys, the carburetors, I haven't looked on eBay. I know the carburetors are very available for the 6.5s, but for these smaller ones, I'm not sure the carburetors are as available. And if the carburetors are $25 or so, plus you got to smash it in there and do all that trivia, probably for an operation where they're paying people by the hour, they'll probably just go to Harbor Freight and pick up another $100 engine and put this one up on the shelf. where it's going to collect dust until they get tired of looking at it. Then it'll either go in the scrap bin or somebody will take it home. All right, so I'm going to take this thing to the next step. We'll get the head off and see what it looks like. I'm putting the time in, even though this engine has 25 years on it, because it looks like it's in pretty nice shape. And it ran, and then it sat for the off season, and when they went to fire it up in the spring, it seems that the intake valve hung up. And these are valve in the block, so the piston can't come up and smash them, right? They're not overhead valve. So I'm thinking I might be able to just kind of, spend a few minutes lubricating and shaking that valve around, and it'll probably loosen up, and I'll probably get this engine to be a runner, but we'll find out soon. What I'm trying to do is, stuff is coming in, I'm trying to make a decision on it quickly. Like if this engine is junk, I just as soon figure that out right away and store it, such as it's going to be spare parts. And if it's a good engine, I just as soon get it somewhere where it could be useful, whether I use it for something or transfer its ownership to somebody who wants to put it on a mini bike or something. All right, folks, I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. Remember to keep your feet down, keep your head up, and please get out there and enjoy all your days. Bye now, folks.